Right now on 12, one person is dead, another 4 injured after a violent attack in our borough. Plus, a community comes together to help each other cope. How hundreds of people are remembering 2 journalists murdered while doing their jobs. And we're keeping a close eye on your commute this morning, and meteorologist Mike Favetta has you covered with your weather on the 2s. It's Friday, August 28th. News 12 Brooklyn starts right now.
As local news gets. News 12 Brooklyn.
We're learning more this morning about a deadly shooting inside a lounge. One person is dead and 4 others hurt after a shooting in Prospect Lefferts Garden. News 12 Brooklyn reporter Katie Lusso is at the scene with the very latest information on this. Good morning, Katie. Businesses at Virginia's Bridgewater Plaza are reopening today after shutting their doors since Wednesday. That's when 2 journalists were shot and killed there on live television. Hundreds of people have been gathering outside of WDBJ in Roanoke, Virginia, to remember reporter Allison Parker and photojournalist Adam Ward. They were gunned down by a former co-worker, Vesterly Flanagan, while doing a live interview. Vicki Gardner was the person being interviewed. We are learning this morning that she lost a kidney and part of her colon from the gunshot wounds to her lower back. Her husband says she tried to drop to the ground in order to avoid bullets. Adam Ward's fiance, Melissa Ott, spoke to the media Thursday. As a producer at WDBJ, she was in the control room watching the horror unfold. It was Ott's last day at the station. She was slated to start working soon at a station in Charlotte, North Carolina. But she says now that this has happened, her entire life is on hold. I'm Kelsey Minor. You're watching News 12 Brooklyn. We're as local news gets. Still to come, looking to bag a bargain? There's a major new discount store coming to Brooklyn. The details next. All right, time now for weather on the 2s with meteorologist Mike Favetta. And Mike, a gorgeous day out today, even though it feels sort of like September weather.
It does, a little ring of fall in the air. Oh, plan on a more humid feel, a feeling typical of July as we enter the first week of September. So this little dry feel, the pleasant, crisp morning, yeah, that's not going to be the case next week as we actually enter, meteorological fall.
All right, and we're all looking for fall.
Yeah.
I told you that's one of my favorite seasons. So.
You into the pumpkin spice latte?
I'm not into the lattes at all. Okay. But I know John Diaz.
Oh, all over it. You can see on Twitter what we're talking about. He can't wait.
All right.
Jonesing for it right now.
I know, right? Thank you so much, Mike. New ferry service coming to Red Hook, but people in the neighborhood aren't on board with this new docking location. The city's expansion plan for the ferry service to Red Hook, including creating docks either at Van Brunt Street Pier or at the Valentino Pier. Neighbors tell us the ferry service is needed, but some worry about the lack of parking and access to public transportation at these 2 locations.
I can see how this one doesn't have a ton of parking, but you could bike down here or you can walk down here. I think overall, more ferry services for the better for the city.
For more information on where else ferry services will be expanding, head over to news12.com, click on numbers and links. And this brings us to our question of the day. Would you prefer to take a ferry to work? Let us know at news12.com or channel 612 on Optimum TV. Today marks 52 years since Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. The iconic civil rights leader delivered the speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. More than 250,000 people attended the demonstration. Officials say the famous speech is 17 minutes long. Nearly 5 years after delivering it, King was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. A judge has cleared the way for the University of Texas to take down a statue of the Confederate President Jefferson Davis. That's despite objections from a Southern heritage group. Civil rights activists say the statue, which is nearly 100 years old, highlights the university's racial past. And here's a story that Facebook may want to give a big like to. On Monday, the social media giant saw 1 billion users. That's about 1 in every 7 people in the world checked onto the site. And check this out, dashcam video is now being released of a slow speed chase in Minnesota. That in itself doesn't seem interesting, except the pajama-clad driver is just 8 years old. This happened back in April. Police say the child made it about 20 miles in the car with his 2 foster siblings along for the joyride. All 3 were eventually returned unharmed to their foster family. Good news there. I'm Kelsey Minor. You're watching News 12 Brooklyn. We're as local news gets. Still to come. Ambushed in his own apartment, who police are looking for after a terrifying home invasion right here in our borough. Plus, it's not even September, but sleigh bells are ringing already for one major retailer.